All right. Hey, we're moving on to lesson three, multiplying fractions. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this vocabulary. Multiplying fractions is one of the funnest things to do with fractions. That and dividing, it's a lot better than adding and subtracting. It's less work, and you get to do some factoring. So, anyway, let's get started. In order to multiply fractions and mixed numbers, each number must be written as a proper or improper fraction. Improper, top number bigger than the bottom. Mixed numbers must be converted, all right, to improper fractions, and whole numbers must be written over 1. Okay, so steps for multiplying fractions. Change each mixed number to an improper fraction. All right, multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and simplify. It's that easy, folks. Bring you up just a little bit. Let me check my camera and maybe just a little more. All right, let's go to work here. Okay. So when I go to multiply fractions, I'm looking for ways to factor, and you're going to see that there aren't any ways to factor in this problem, but there will be problems down the line here that we can see. But anyway, we have two simple fractions. So the only thing we're going to do is multiply the top, 2 times 4, and multiply the bottom as 3 times 5. 2 times 4 is 8, 3 times 5 is 15, and we're going to circle our final answer. Let's try that again. Again, multiplying fractions. 6 times 2, well, that's 12. And 7 times 7, that's 49, right? And we're going to circle our final answer. Now, I know those are in simplest form because I couldn't factor anything out. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to cancel cross common factors here. And I just call this factoring, and it's good stuff. Okay, so let's slow down here a little bit on the next one. 2/3 times 3/4. When I look at this problem, okay, I look for top to bottom combinations. And the first thing that jumps out at me at this problem right here is I have a 3 on the top and the bottom. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. See, I factored out a 3. I'm doing this in the front end instead of the back end. And I also know that 2 and 4 have a common factor. They're both divisible by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now, we're going to multiply the top, we're going to multiply the bottom, and we're going to circle our final answer. So we didn't have to simplify here since we factored on the front end. Let's try that again. 3/8 times 6/15, right? So I'm looking for a top to bottom combination. Can't be bottom to bottom and it can't be top to top to reduce. And I clearly see a 3 and a 15. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Both of these are divisible by 2. Aren't they? 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. I see no other way top to bottom combination. So now I'm just going to multiply through, and I'm going to circle my final answer, 3/20. Right? So again, these were pretty easy. We did a little bit of factoring. Now we're going to add mixed numbers. And if you recall up here, when they talked about a mixed number, we have to get it to an improper fraction. Now, to get a mixed number to an improper fraction, we're going to multiply and we're going to add. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And I'm going to write 5. Remember, that denominator doesn't change. Okay? Times. Remember, multiply. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 3 is 18 over 5, right? At this point, we can do our factoring, right? So same number top and bottom. Any combination, cross them off and put ones because 5 divided by 5 is 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Look, I have nothing but ones on the bottom. I'm done. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 1 is 1. 9 over 1 equals 9. Okay. Let's try a couple more here. Again, let's get these to an improper. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 5 is 29. Denominator stays the same. Times. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5 over 4. Okay. Now, let's look for a top to bottom combination to reduce. I don't see anything. 4 doesn't go into 29, does it? So we're going to get some bigger numbers here. So we're going to do a little bit of work here. 29 times 5 is 45, carry the 4, 10. That's 145 over 24. Okay, now in algebra that would be acceptable, but let's go ahead and take that back to a mixed number. Remember, fraction's a fancy way to write a division problem. 24 into 145. Well, 2 goes into 14 7 times. You know what? Let's see what 24 times 7 is. 28, carry the 2. 14, it's a little bit big, so we know 6 should work, right? 6 times 4 is 24. Carry the 2. 12, 13, 14. That's 144, and that's 1. That 1 becomes my numerator, and my denominator doesn't change. So the answer is 6 and 1, 24. So that was clearly the most involved problem we had so far. Okay. All right. Let's flip over to the back, and let's take a peek at number 1 down there. I don't want to do all this spinner things because I want to get you working on some things here. A fruitcake recipe calls for 2 1/3 cups of almonds and 1 1/3 cups of pecans. If Eliza would like to make 4 fruitcakes, then how many cups of nuts does she need? Okay, so here's the almonds. You have 2 1/3 cups of almonds, and you have 1 3/4 cups of pecans, right? And we want to make this. So this is what it calls for one recipe, for one fruit cake. We want to make four of them. So we have a multiple step question here, don't we? So the first thing I think we need to do is figure out what's our total nuts that we need. A fruit cake recipe calls for this many cups of almonds, this many cups of pecans. That's one fruit cake. She would like to make 4, so we need 4 of those, just to say that again. So how many cups of nuts does she need? So the first thing I'm going to do is take these two and add them together. I'm going to take 2 1/3, and I'm going to add 1 3/4 to it, okay? And that's going to give me my total number of nuts, because pecans are nuts and so are almonds, right? So I'm going to rewrite these with a common denominator, right? And the LCM of 4 and 3 is 12, times 4 times 4, times 3 times 3. So I'm just going to add them up, right? 2 plus 1 is 3. 9 and 4 is 13. 12s. Now, I have a goofy fraction here, and I could change that, but I'm not going to take care of that just yet. What I want to do now is take that, and I want to multiply it by 4, and then I'll fix it all at the end. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this and change it to an improper. 12 times 3 is 36, right? And 36 plus 13, well, plus 13 is what? 9 is 49. So this equals 49 over 12. Remember, the denominator doesn't change. And this is equal to this, and I'm going to multiply that by 4. Well, I need 4 of those, so I'm going to take 4 and put it over 1, right? Okay, so now I'm going to look to factor. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 12 divided by 4 is 3, right? So now 49 times 1 is 49. 3 times 1 is 3, and I'm going to look to change that back. I'm going to take this and put it up here because I need a little bit more room. So I'm just going to go ahead and change that. 3 goes into 4 once. Bring the 9 down. 3 6s are 18. 16 1/3. Where's the 3 come from there? So I need 16 1/3 cups of nuts. So good question there. Good question. Anyway, that will get you through. Go ahead and get started on lesson 3 homework.